resorption, right? And wherever we use the term blast, it means we are talking about formation, right? So odontoclast, if you are talking about odontoclast, that means it is a resorbing cell. So where it is going to originate from? Normally, the resorption process will begin from cementum, followed by dentine in the root, right? The crown is not going to resorb because the anchorage or the attachment of the tooth within the socket is facilitated by the presence of uh, the attachment is facilitated over the cementum and not over the crown, right? So the cells which will resorb cementum will be present in close vicinity with the cementum, but odontoclasts are not the cells which are always present inside the bone or in the medial area. Why? Because if they will be always present, they will always cause resorption. Then they will not let the permanent teeth also stay in their place. So that is not required. Resorption is required only at the specific timing when shedding is desired. Right? So whenever there is a need for shedding, resorption has to happen at that particular time only. There will be differentiation of odontoclast from the monocyte macrophage lineage of the blood. So the monocyte macrophage cells which are present in the blood are going to differentiate into the odontoclast cells.
Yes.
Right? And those cells are going to initiate, they are first going to attach at the resorption bay. Now the question is, what is the resorption bay? So resorption bay is the area where attachment facilitates increase in the surface area for the purpose of resorption, right? And then later on, when the cells have attached, there is a high increased surface area, there will be liberation of acidic component within the resorption bay so that the resorption can happen. Now, where is this acid going to come from? This acid is going to come, it is going to be derived from the differentiation from the activity of the proton pump, which is acting at the cell membrane of the odontoclast cell. So there will be liberation of hydrogen ions and chlorine ions, which are going to form hydrochloric acid, and that is how the process of resorption is going to begin.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else wants to ask anything?
What is acid phosphatase activity?
Acid phosphatase and alkaline phosphatase are two enzymes which are indicative of the process of resorption and formation. So whenever they will say that in the blood or in the serum, there is increase in the alkaline phosphatase, that means it is a clear indication that somewhere in the body there is formation of bone. Whereas on the contrary, whenever they will say that there is increase in the acid phosphatase component in the blood or in the serum, then there is increased degenerative activity, right? So there are a lot of bone pathologies in which there is an imbalance in the equilibrium of acid phosphatase and alkaline phosphatase enzyme. Why is this imbalance? This imbalance is actually indicative of which activity is more. If there will be more formation, there will be more alkaline phosphatase in the body. If there is more degeneration, there will be more acid phosphatase in the body. Right? And here we are talking about degeneration. That is why there is increase in the activity of acid phosphatase enzyme. Now, am I clear? I hope your doubt is clear.
In permanent mandibular incisor, apical position of tooth germ does not occur.
Sorry, I can't hear your question. Please be loud.
Ma'am, apical positioning of tooth germ, I want to know.
Apical?
Positioning of tooth germ.
Okay, where?
In mandibular incisor, permanent mandibular incisor.
Mandibular permanent incisors are apically placed to the deciduous incisors. You want to ask this?
Yes, ma'am. In it, apical position of this incisor does not occur.
I am not able to understand your question. You want to ask where is the tooth bud of a mandibular incisor placed? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for the anterior teeth, I have already told you that they are placed they are placed slightly lingual to the position of deciduous teeth. Right? They are not apical. They cannot be apical. There is slight lingual inclination to the placement of tooth germ of the permanent teeth. This is true for every anterior tooth. Right? There can be a slight modification here and there, but majorly it is more towards the lingual side. Right? But we are not talking about the posterior teeth here. In the posterior teeth, there is always placement of the permanent tooth bud within the roots of the deciduous teeth. Okay? Okay, so now let me start with the,
Ma'am, do we have to write about the genes also related to eruption and shedding?
if you can remember, you can write the molecular aspect of eruption and shedding also. If you can remember, you may write. But that is not a surely accepted part of the answer at UG level, because there is always a limitation to understanding at the undergraduate level, and there is always some enhancement of the knowledge at the postgraduate level. So nowadays, the textbooks are mentioning about all those things, all those molecular aspects also, but we as teachers are not expecting you to remember each and everything. If you want to learn, we cannot stop you from learning also. So if you are interested, you can read, you can learn, you can ask the doubts also. But that is not a point wherein if you have not written, the marks will be deducted. Right? Because that is not expected from every student in the class. What I am expecting is I am teaching in the class. If I am teaching certain things in the class, that means that is for sure expected from you as an answer. Right? Yes, we cannot stop anybody from knowing or learning beyond. If you want to learn, you may always learn. Right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So today we are going to begin with the yet another histology chapter, which is called enamel. Right? So you already know that in the as far as the hard tissue components of the tooth are concerned, what are the hard tissues in the teeth? One is enamel, the other one is cementum, and then you have the dentine. Dentine is present, enamel is present only in the crown region, cementum is present only in the root region, whereas dentine will be located both in the crown as well as in the root region. Right? So we say that it is coronal dentine or radicular dentine, depending upon where the dentine is situated. So one of the first very important hard tissue component of the tooth is enamel. Right? So we have to learn what is the structure of enamel, how the enamel is formed, what are the cells which are responsible for formation of enamel, and how does enamel undergo regeneration and repair, what are the clinical considerations. So all these things have to be talked in detail. Right? So now today, since you've already learned the chapter on odontogenesis, have you learned the chapter on odontogenesis? Did you go through the book, The Development of Tooth? Can anybody tell me what are the stages in tooth development?
बंद कर देंगे.
Bud stage, cap stage,
Okay, bud stage, cap stage, and
early stage, and advanced stage.
early bell stage and advanced bell stage. So while you were studying about the development of tooth through the development of enamel organ, did anybody of you come across the term ameloblast? Did you ever read this term ameloblast? What are ameloblast? Anybody is going to tell me?
Enamel forming cells.
Enamel formation.
Okay, so ameloblast cells are enamel forming cells. And where are they located?
And they're derived from inner
enamel epithelium.
Ameloblast cells are derived from
Inner enamel.
enamel epithelium.
Ectoderm.
So when we are talking about the enamel organ in general, what are the different layers which you will see in the enamel organ? What can be the different types of cells which are located in the enamel organ?
Vestibular lamina and dental lamina.
So one is inner enamel epithelium. Followed by that there is stellate reticulum, and in
Stratum intermedium.
you will also see stratum intermedium. Stratum intermedium is appreciated in which stage of tooth development?
Bell stage.
First bell
Early
stage.
bell stage. Only in early bell stage you will come across stratum intermedium, otherwise that is not there. So ameloblast cells are the cells which are responsible for formation of enamel. So first of all, even before how enamel is formed, we have to know what are the different stages in the life cycle of ameloblast cell. Right? So ameloblast cell has got its own entire lifespan. Just like there is a lifespan for human beings, there is a lifespan for animals, for trees. Right? Whenever the function is over, then we have a certain lifespan. Right? First, the child is born, followed by that teenager group is there. Then adolescents come. Then there is adults, and then you have elderly life. Then finally the person dies. So this is the entire lifespan of the human body. Right? So here also the cell which is responsible for formation of enamel also has a lifespan. So what are the different stages in the life cycle of ameloblast cells? That is the topic for today. So even before how enamel is formed, we have to know what is an ameloblast and what are the different stages in which the ameloblast cell spends its entire lifespan. Okay, so this picture you must have already seen while you were studying your odontogenesis lectures. You have a dental papilla which is responsible for formation of pulp and dentine, right? And then you have this layer which is called inner enamel epithelium. Now the cells of inner enamel epithelium are actually going to elongate and they are going to transform into ameloblast cells which are going to lay down the enamel. Then you have another very small layer which is called stratum intermedium, but it is only seen in the early bell stage of life. Otherwise this layer is not present in enamel organ. Then you have another layer which is called stellate reticulum, right? And then you have the outer enamel epithelium. So these are the different components of the enamel organ. And beyond this, there is dental follicle, which is also called dental sac. Okay? So before the enamel formation begins, the cells of inner enamel epithelium assume a columnar form and they differentiate into ameloblast, which produce the enamel matrix. And their entire function is divided into 6 stages. Right, so there are 6 stages in the entire lifespan of ameloblast, and that is called as life cycle of ameloblast. Right, so there are 6 stages into how inner enamel epithelium is transforming into ameloblast, and how ameloblast cells are later on getting transformed again into low columnar cells or cuboidal cells. Right. So this is the inner enamel epithelium. See how much elongation has already happened for the formation of ameloblast. Right, so this is pre-enamel area, this is dentine area, then you have stellate reticulum. All this you have already studied in your odontogenesis, and I am not going to repeat this. So again, I have told you that there were 6 stages in the entire lifespan of ameloblast. So what are these stages called? Let us know them in detail. So the first stage is called morphogenic stage. Okay, so the first stage is called morphogenic. Then you have another stage called organizing, followed by formative, maturative, protective, and desmolytic. So you have to remember the names of these 6 stages into what these stages show, that I'm going to tell you in detail later, now only in the next slides. And you have to remember the stages in this particular sequence only. I hope I am very clear to everyone. You cannot change the sequence of these stages. You cannot write protective first. then you remember it, but you have to remember it in this particular sequence only. There has to be morphogenic stage followed by organizing, then formative, then maturative, protective, and despotic. Right? And different textbooks will, some of the textbooks will mention 5 stages. Some of the textbooks have also mentioned 4 stages. But whatever is the controversy, I am not going to entertain that. I am teaching you 6 stages in the class, and this, the reference for this is from the book of 10 Cates. Right? So these 6 stages have been taken from the book of 10 Cates, and this has to be remembered as it is. You have to remember 6 stages only. Don't get confused with what other textbooks are telling, that there are 5 stages, 4 stages, 3 stages, and we are not going to entertain any of those answers. There are 6 stages, and these are the names of the stages, and you have to remember them as it is. You cannot change the sequence of these stages, because then you cannot put a child directly to an adult, right? And then you cannot say that the after adult the child has become a teenager. Okay, that cannot happen. So in the lifespan of anything, be it human life, animal life, or the life cycle of ameloblast, there has to be a sequence. So just like a child is transforming into a teenager, adolescent, adult, elder, and then an old individual, similarly the cells are going to follow this particular sequence only. I hope I am clear to everyone in the class, because many a times I have seen your previous batches also, they will all mix up the stages and write in the exam, which is not a correct answer. Then marks will be deducted. Okay, so let us now see what happens in the morphogenic stage. Right? So as the name suggests, morphogenic, right? It is very easy to remember these stages because the names of these stages are synonymous with what is happening inside. This is very, very easy to understand. You will not have to mug up them. You can simply understand what is happening to the cell. Right? So in the morphogenic stage, what is happening is there is alteration in the morphology of the cell. Right? That is why we are using the term morphogenic. So initially what was happening is the cells were short, they were short columnar. Later on they have started getting elongated. Right? Since there is change in the morphology of the cell from cuboidal to tall columnar, that is why we are using the term morphogenic. Right? They are no longer the cells of inner enamel epithelium. They have started transforming. The cells of inner enamel epithelium have started transforming to elongated columnar cells, which will now be called as ameloblast. Right? And beside that, what is happening is there is increase in the size of the nucleus. There is increase in the organelles in the cell. That is, there is increase in the Golgi apparatus, the centrioles. All are increasing at the proximal end of the cell. Now, what is a proximal end and the distal end? Have you read this while you were reading Odontogenesis? Can anybody tell me what is a proximal end and what is a distal end? Anybody in the class? Can you tell me what is the proximal end of a cell?
Ma'am, towards the stratum intermedium proximal and
Towards?
stratum intermedium.
No. Towards the basement membrane. The proximity of the cell towards the basement membrane will be called as proximal end, and the cell with the part of the surface which will be away from the basement membrane will be called as distal. Now, why I am telling you this is very important in case of an ameloblast. Why this is important is because all the secretions, all the enamel matrix, all the mineral component is going to enter through the proximal end of the cell. So this is the proximal. You can remember it by the word proximity. So why? Because enamel is always secreted towards the inner side. What is happening here is, here there is a stellate reticulum. On the top there is a stellate reticulum. There enamel is not going to form. Enamel is going to form towards the dental papilla. So where is dental papilla? It is somewhere here, right? Imagine, you have to imagine it. It is somewhere here. So this particular basement membrane on which the cell is resting will be will be the proximal end of the cell towards the basement membrane or towards the dental papilla, you can say, because enamel is going to be secreted here. The enamel is not going to be secreted here, right? So that is why you say that it is proximal end, because it is in proximity with the basement membrane, and the part which is away is the distal end. So anything which is away is distal, anything which is close to the basement membrane is proximal, or you may also say that it is close to the dental papilla, because here the enamel secretion is happening. That is the reason that Golgi apparatus and centrioles and mitochondria, everything is increasing in the proximal end of the cell. Why? Because the secretion has to happen here. That is why every organelle is increasing in the proximal end. So there are a lot of changes in the appearance and in the morphology of the cell. That is why we are using the word morphogenic, right? So first what has happened is there is increase in the size of the cell, right? So initially it was short columnar, or you may say it was cuboidal, whatever, and then it is increased to tall columnar, right? So first change is increase in the size. The second change which has happened is the size of the nucleus, and the third change which has happened is increase in the components of the cell, that is the organelles. The organelles which are responsible for secretion of enamel matrix, such as the Golgi apparatus or the centrioles or the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell, which is required for providing energy or secretion of such components, everything is going to increase at the proximal end of the cell, right? Am I clear to everyone in the class? Is this stage clear to everyone? Please tell me right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The morphogenic stage. Okay, so let us go to the next stage. The next stage is organizing, right? So as the name suggests, what is getting organized? What is getting organized? Every component of the cell is going to organize itself. That is why it is called organizing stage. And the most important phenomena which is happening in this stage and is facilitating the organization of organelles is called reversal of polarity. Did you ever come across this word while you were studying odontogenesis? Anybody? What is reversal of polarity?
Reversal of positioning of
Can you tell me what is reversal of polarity? Sir must have taught you in the class.
During the deposition of enamel, there is the nucleus in the ameloblast will shift to the distal side, and this is the reversal of polarity.
Yes, very good. So what is happening here in the organizing stage? I have already told you that there is organization of the different components. And the first step to this organization is movement of the nucleus away from the basement membrane. Right? Why is this movement required? First of all, this movement is required because nucleus, if it is present in the basement of the cell towards the proximal end, it is going to act like a rock or a barrier to any kind of secretion of enamel, right? So it is an obstruction because it is not going to produce any acid. It is not going to provide energy to the cell. So there is no other function to nucleus right now which is required. Right now we require the organelles which are responsible for secretion of enamel matrix. Right now we do not require nucleus. So nucleus is not a desired organelle at this particular point of time. So it is going to simply move away from the proximal end to the distal end of the cell so that there can be organization of other components such as the Golgi apparatus, the centrioles, the mitochondria, the ribosomes, the subunit of ribosomes. Everything can come and deposit in the proximal part of the cell, right? So this process of movement of the nucleus from the proximal end of the cell towards the distal end so that other components can come and organize themselves at the proximal end is known as reversal of polarity. Why? Because the polarity of the cell is determined by the placement of its nucleus, and it has to be towards the basement membrane always. If the cell is polar. If it is reversal of polarity, that means the nucleus is going away from its place where it is actually present, right? So that is called reversal of polarity and organization of organs. So this is the organizing stage. Is it clear to everyone in the class? Please tell me so that we can go to the next step.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The first stage of life cycle was the morphogenic stage. I am again revising, in which there is change in the morphology of the cell. There is elongation of the cell first of all to the columnar type or the tall columnar type, followed by which there is enhancement of the cell organelles in the proximal component of the cell. So all this is morphogenic changes. Then you have the organizing stage, in which organization of those organelles is happening. And what is happening is the very important step of reversal of polarity. This has to happen, because if the nucleus is not moving away, there will be no space provided for the organelles to come and place themselves at the proximal end of the cell and perform their function. Right? So that is very, very important, that reversal of polarity is a mandatory phenomena prior to enamel matrix deposition. I hope I am clear to everyone in the class. It is a very important step which has to happen in ameloblast for the secretion of enamel. Okay. So by the end of organizing phase, there is also simultaneous deposition of dentine. So it is, tooth formation is not a isolated concept of enamel formation which is happening first, followed by dentine formation. Everything happens simultaneously. So while at one end ameloblast is performing its function, on the other side dentine forming cells are also performing their function. So all the steps are happening simultaneously, one besides the other. So by the end of this stage, if it is appreciated, there will be slight deposition of dentine also, which is very, very important. Which is very, very important prior to enamel secretion. Right? And what is this phenomena called? Anybody can tell me? What is this phenomena called? In odontogenesis, sir must have already taught you that predentine, a layer of predentine is mandatory before anything comes out of the ameloblast. Anything is secreted from the ameloblast. A layer of predentine is mandatory. Now, what is this phenomena called? Anybody can tell me?
Apposition.
Apposition.
No. What is it called?
Ma'am, reciprocal induction.
Yes, very good. Fantastic. It is called reciprocal induction. Why reciprocal? Because reciprocal word means one is affecting the other. I am reciprocating your functioning, you are reciprocating my functioning. That is the example. Right? So it is mutual, dependent, one upon the other. So all the steps are simultaneous. Now you might raise a question, why this reciprocal induction is important? It is very, very important. Why? Because there are certain growth factors, there are certain molecules which are mandatory for pushing the enamel forming organelles to secrete enamel, and those factors are produced by dentine. Right? So ameloblasts are going to initiate the differentiation of odontoblast, and the layer of dentine which is first formed is going to initiate ameloblast to lay down enamel. So both enamel and dentine are helping each other to function and for their secretion and deposition, right? So that is called reciprocal induction, right? Okay, that is called reciprocal induction. Now, this reciprocal induction is not a full-fledged phenomena in this particular stage, but it has just started. It has just started because the layer of dentine has just deposited. Even now, the enamel secretion has not begun. But what has happened here is one more phenomena, that is, there is now gradual disappearance of stellate reticulum. Now, why this is happening? There is gradual disappearance of stellate reticulum. This is happening because initially what was happening is, I will tell you. Okay, see this picture. initially what was happening is there was no enamel and there was no dentine. So enamel and dentine are what? They are hard tissues. They are hard tissues. They are not soft tissues. They are not going to have abundance of blood vessels within them. They are hard tissues, right? They are mineralized structures. So initially what was happening is ameloblasts are performing their activity because they are enamel epithelial cells. Ameloblasts are derived from they are epithelial in origin, right? And you must always know this concept that epithelium is an avascular structure. It does not have any blood vessel of its own. Anywhere in the body, epithelium is avascular. Epithelium will never have a blood supply of its own. It is always going to derive its nutrition from the surrounding connective tissue. So it is the connective tissue which is lodging the blood vessels, blood capillaries, and is providing nourishment or nutrition to the developing epithelial cells through the process of diffusion, right? So ameloblast भी epithelial origin का ही सेल होता है, और ameloblast क्योंकि epithelium origin का है तो उसका खुद का कोई blood vessel नहीं होता, बट इतने सारे functions perform करने के लिए हमको nutrition चाहिए, energy चाहिए. So all that nutrition is going to come from blood vessels, but there are no blood vessels in epithelium. So it is going to derive nutrition from the process of diffusion via the blood vessels which are present in the connective tissue in its vicinity. Right? Am I clear to everyone in the class? ये सबको समझ में आई बात कि epithelium की कोई vasculature नहीं होता है, उसको nutrition हमेशा surrounding connective tissue से ही मिलता है. लेकिन organizing stage में first layer of dentine बन जाता है. So first layer of dentine के बनते ही जो nutrition dental papilla से मिल रहा था ameloblast को, that is cut off. That is cut off. Why? Because dentine is a hard tissue. It is going to block all the nutrition from the dental papilla because it is a connective tissue towards the inner enamel epithelium or the ameloblast. So that all nutrition is blocked through this channel. So what other channel is left? The other channel which is left for nutrition is the dental sac, which will be present somewhere here. But there is a lot of distance between ameloblast and the dental sac. Why? Because entire distance is being occupied by the stellate reticulum cells. So stellate reticulum will start getting collapsed. It will start getting collapsed. It will start disappearing. And this is important because now dental sac has to come closer to the ameloblast cells so that all the nutrition via diffusion can be given to the ameloblast for the purpose of enamel formation. ठीक है, सबको समझ में आया क्लास में?
Yes, ma'am.
कोई ऐसा बच्चा है जिसको नहीं समझ में आया? अभी फिर से मैं रिवाइज करती हूँ. मॉर्फोजेनिक एंड ऑर्गेनाइजिंग स्टेज में क्या हो रहा है? मॉर्फोजेनिक में सिंपली मॉर्फोलॉजिकल चेंजेस हो रहे हैं. तो आप सेल्स जो है पहले ऐसे थे, नाउ दे आर स्टार्ट गेटिंग elongated, right? And there is increase in the deposition of certain organelles which will form enamel. But there is a lot of changes which are happening in the organizing stage. So all the organization is happening. First of all, there is reversal of polarity. Can you see the nucleus was in the middle of the cell and it has now started moving away from the cell. So this is the proximal end of the cell towards the basement membrane or dental papilla, and this is the distal end of the cell. So the nucleus has started moving away from the proximal end towards the distal end. All the organelles will come and deposit here. And while the first layer of dentine has formed, it is going to, this is called reversal of polarity. And while the first layer of dentine is formed, in order to initiate the enamel formation, that is reciprocal induction has to happen. That is why there is going to be increase in the organelle content at the proximal end of the cell. Simultaneously, there is also collapse of the stellate reticulum. Why? Because the nutrition from the dental papilla is now cut off, because there is a layer of dentine which is already formed and it is acting like an obstruction. So now stellate reticulum, which was here somewhere, will collapse so that the dental sac or the dental follicle will come closer to the ameloblast cells to provide nutrition via diffusion. ठीक है? Everybody has understood? I am
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us now see what is happening in the third stage, that is formative stage. So as the name suggests, formative, that means what is something is forming. Now what will form via ameloblast is enamel matrix. So this is the stage of the beginning of enamel matrix formation. That is why it is called formative stage, right? And it is facilitated by a full-fledged phenomena of reciprocal induction, where the thickness of dentine will increase more. There will be more deposition of the molecular factors, which will be responsible for inducing enamel formation, and there will be reciprocal induction, right? But while this is happening, what is simultaneously happening is elongation of the proximal end of ameloblast. This proximal end, which is elongated in the form of a triangle, is actually called as Tome's process. ये जो ameloblast cell है, देखो कितना elongate हो गया है. यहाँ पर कितने सारे organelles हैं. Nucleus भी reciprocal induction में है. पर ये पहले तो flat था. Now it has become elongated. Can you see it is triangular? So what is this called is the Tome's process. So this is another effort by the enamel forming cells to increase the surface area. The purpose of this formation of Tome's process is nothing but to increase the surface area for liberation of the contents. अगर यही surface पूरा flat होगा तो कम enamel matrix deposit होगा. अगर ये elongate होकर Tome's process बना लेगा तो there will be multiple surfaces. यहाँ से भी surface release हो सकता है, यहाँ से भी release हो सकता है. So there is elongation of this process, which is called Tome's process, from the ameloblast, which is going to lay down enamel matrix through different surfaces, and there will be enhancement of the surface area, right? Okay. So once the enamel matrix has also deposited in the formative stage, the next stage is called as the maturative stage. So what is maturing in this stage? Nothing but the enamel matrix. The enamel matrix is going to mature. So what is meant by maturation of enamel matrix is deposition of chemicals, deposition of calcified material, or the mineralization of the enamel has to become. Why? Because अभी क्या lay down हुआ है, सिर्फ formative stage में enamel matrix बना है. Matrix क्या है? Organic है. All the proteins, all the carbohydrates, all the glycosaminoglycans, actually they have got deposited in the enamel matrix. Now enamel is a hard tissue. So from somewhere calcium ions, minerals, etc. will also come and have to deposit in the enamel, so that enamel can become hard from the organic, instead from the organic matrix, it can get calcified, right? So that is what is happening in the maturative stage. So there is maturation of nothing else but enamel matrix. Enamel matrix का ही maturation हो रहा है, और उसमें मिनरल आयंस, कैल्शियम आयंस और वो सब आके डिपॉजिट हो रहे हैं, ताकि इनामल मैट्रिक्स जो कि अभी तक सॉफ्ट टिश्यू है वो हार्ड टिश्यू में कन्वर्ट हो सके. ओके, सो इनामल मैट्रिक्स फॉर्मेशन कंटिन्यूज एंड देयर इज deposition of hard tissue material within the enamel matrix, right? And slowly and gradually in the maturative stage, this Tome's process will disappear. Why it is going to disappear is because no longer the enamel matrix is forming. Enamel matrix बन चुका formative stage में, अब सिर्फ maturation की जरूरत है. इसीलिए enamel Tome's process की अब कोई जरूरत नहीं है. We don't need Tome's process anymore. So then Tome's process is slightly getting disappeared and the cell is starting to mature again, because the enamel matrix has already laid down which is the main function for ameloblast cell. So then comes the protective stage. So what we have to protect? Protective कहाँ हमें क्या protect करना है? We have to protect the newly formed enamel, right? So we have to protect the newly formed enamel so that it can get more mineralized and there is no disintegration to its integrity while it is erupting inside the oral cavity. While the crown is completely formed and the eruption has taken place, we have to protect the newly formed enamel. So that protection is also provided by the ameloblast cell. Why and how? Because by now the stellate reticulum has completely disappeared, and what has happened is there is inner enamel epithelium, which is ameloblast, and the outer enamel epithelium, which is going to join with each other and will form reduced enamel epithelium. So it is going to form what? Reduced enamel एपिथेलियम, ये आपने पढ़ा होगा ओडोंटोजेनेसिस के टाइम पर। तो अब हमको इनामल फॉर्मेशन की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, तो सेल मैच्योर हो चुका है। इनर इनामल एपिथेलियम टॉल कॉलमनर से फिर से शॉर्ट कॉलमनर हो गया है, एंड इट हैज जॉइंड द outer enamel epithelium. The stellate reticulum has completely disappeared and there is formation of reduced enamel epithelium, right? So this reduced enamel epithelium is going to protect the newly formed enamel from any external sources. अगर ये inner reduced enamel epithelium नहीं होगा तो जो newly formed enamel है वो directly dental sac के contact में आ जाएगा और वो पूरा खराब हो जाएगा। Why? Because dental sac will have a tendency to lay down cementum, क्योंकि वहां से cementum बनता है, तो dental sac भी बहुत ज्यादा fertile और formative stage में है right now, right? Because all the things I have told you are happening simultaneously in the enamel organ. ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले 4-5 दिन enamel बन जाएगा, फिर dentin बनेगा, फिर cementum. No, everything is happening simultaneously. So in that simultaneous process, the protection of enamel is facilitated by the presence of reduced enamel epithelium, so that the newly formed enamel cannot directly come in contact with the dental sac. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Dental sac will lay down cementum over the newly formed enamel, and then enamel is going to get disturbed. That is the function of the protective stage. So that is written here is protection of mature enamel by separating it from the connective tissue until the tooth erupts inside the oral cavity. So जब तक tooth erupt नहीं हो जाता, ये reduced enamel epithelium enamel के ऊपर ही रहता है, ठीक है? And then you have the last stage, which is the desmolytic stage. तो desmolytic मतलब क्या होता है? जहां पर भी हम word lytic यूज करते हैं, वहां पर मतलब कुछ enzymatic action होकर कुछ destroy हो रहा है। तो बहुत सारे enzymes अमीलोब्लास्ट के अंदर भी प्रेजेंट होते हैं। तो जब इरप्शन की जरूरत होती है, तो हमने पढ़ा थ्योरीज ऑफ इरप्शन में कि इरप्टिव फोर्सेस की जरूरत है और एक कैनाल बनता है, गुबर्नाकुलर कैनाल, जहां से टूथ इरप्ट करता है। तो वो कैनाल बनाने के लिए जो ओवरलाइंग सॉफ्ट टिश्यू है उसका डिसइंटीग्रेशन होना जरूरी है, एंड दैट डिसइंटीग्रेशन हैपेंस बाय द एंजाइमेटिक एक्टिविटी which is facilitated by the ameloblast cell, and that is why it is a lytic stage. So lysis is happening. The lysis of soft tissue is happening over here, so that the tooth can erupt in the oral cavity, right? So all this is happening because of enzymes which are liberated by the inner enamel epithelium cells, which were originally ameloblasts, right? So you have all these different stages in which the entire formation of enamel is happening. Okay, so you want me to quickly revise all the stages, or you will read it on your own first? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you all understand the concept? Please tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Of the life cycle of ameloblast.
मैम
Yes.
मैम इन डेस्मोलाइटिक स्टेज सॉफ्ट टिश्यूज क्या करेगा ऐसा कि मतलब उसको डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाना चाहिए बाय द एंजाइम्स इन द
सॉफ्ट
एमिलोब्लास्ट?
टिश्यू तो ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन प्रोवाइड करेगा ना बेटा।
यस
अगर जो टूथ इरप्ट हो रहा है उसके ऊपर कुछ भी होगा तो वो ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन ही तो प्रोवाइड करेगा, सॉफ्ट टिश्यू हो या हार्ड टिश्यू हो। एक चैनल तो बनाना है ना, एक रास्ता तो बनाना है, तो वो
Yes,
रास्ता बनाने के लिए तो एंजाइमेटिक एक्शन करना जरूरी है। दैट इज व्हाई दैट लिटिल अमाउंट ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्शन इज बीइंग कॉज्ड बाय द enzymes which are present in the inner enamel epithelium. So all these stages are there. That is, there is morphogenic stage, organizing stage, formative, maturative, protective and desmolytic. ठीक है, आप ये questions लिख लो. Describe in detail the stages in the life cycle of ameloblast, reversal of polarity and desmolysis. So this is the assignment for you for this class. Okay. In the next class, I will talk about enamel deposition. ये enamel में अभी हमने पढ़ा है सिर्फ लाइफ साइकिल के बारे में। अब enamel जब बन रहा है, enamel matrix जब बन रहा है, तब उसमें क्या क्या चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, कैल्शियम कहाँ से आ रहा है, मिनरल कहाँ से आ रहा है, कैसे enamel बन रहा है, that is called as amelogenesis. You should never ever get confused between the life cycle of ameloblast and amelogenesis. These two are different things. अगर क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आता है डिस्क्राइब द लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ अमीलोब्लास्ट, तो आपको यही 6 स्टेजेस लिखनी है और आंसर खत्म कर देना है. अगर क्वेश्चन आता है डिस्क्राइब इन डिटेल अबाउट अमीलोजेनेसिस, तो आपको लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ अमीलोब्लास्ट भी लिखना होगा और अमीलोजेनेसिस भी लिखना होगा, जो मैं नेक्स्ट क्लास में पढ़ाऊंगी. ठीक है. और अगर क्वेश्चन आता है शॉर्ट नोट 5 मार्क्स का या 3 मार्क्स का, डिस्कस अमीलोजेनेसिस इन अ शॉर्ट नोट, तो आपको सिर्फ अमीलोजेनेसिस डिस्कस करना है. लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ अमीलोब्लास्ट के बारे में सिर्फ आप पॉइंट्स में बता सकते हो, इतना डिटेल में बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है. तो मैंने आपको इसीलिए अभी बता दिया है, इफ अमीलोजेनेसिस इज अ लॉन्ग नोट, you have to describe the life cycle of ameloblast along with it, then it is an incomplete answer. Okay. But if life cycle of ameloblast is asked, you are not supposed to answer about amelogenesis. Please don't get confused. Whenever we are using the term genesis, that means we are talking about the process of formation. किसी भी चीज का process of formation. जब आप यूज करते हो odontogenesis, that means formation, process of formation of tooth को आपने डिस्कस किया कि उसमें बहुत सारे स्टेजेस होते हैं, बड होता है, कैप होता है, बेल होता है, जो भी स्टेजेस है. तो दैट इज द एंटायर जेनेसिस, द एंटायर प्रोसेस ऑफ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, राइट. व्हेनेवर आई एम सेइंग इट इज अमीलोजेनेसिस, दैट मींस अगेन आई एम डिस्कसिंग द प्रोसेस ऑफ फॉर्मेशन इन व्हिच लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ अमीलोब्लास्ट इज अ कंपोनेंट, क्योंकि लाइफ साइकिल को पढ़े बिना तो प्रोसेस कंप्लीट नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है. बट you have to remember that if life cycle is asked, then we are not asking about amelogenesis. So in this particular assignment, you have to remember all these 3 questions and that has to be submitted. Okay? Is it clear to everyone? और आप बुक खोलकर इसको लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ अमीलोब्लास्ट को अच्छी तरीके से पढ़ लोगे, ताकि नेक्स्ट क्लास में कोई डिफिकल्टी नहीं होगी. while I will ask you questions on life cycle of ameloblast. ठीक है. Everybody in the class has to answer. And now I am going to ask the questions by asking names. 2 names I am going to ask the question. I will not let the question open to all the class so that only 2 or 3 people are answering. Everybody has to read and come. You have to read the life cycle of ameloblast and be ready for the questions in the next class. Okay. And if there are any doubts, I will entertain them in the beginning of the next class. Try to be on time. I hope I am clear about all the things, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am.